Hello and welcome to Expat American. I'm the Expat American, and Expat American simply means expatriate American. An expatriate is only someone who lives outside of their home country. And right now, I'm walking through Russia, the country of Russia, specifically Moscow. And my question today is Russia like America? Now you can see I'm standing in a neighborhood. The question is, does it look different from America? We've got trees, we've got buildings, we've got kids playing. Now that's a little different. Looks like a giant slide of some sort. There's a playground. It's been raining for about 24 hours here, so everything is wet, and it's also very bright and green, as often happens in America. And here's something that I have noticed in my travels here that I want to show you, that I don't know what it is. So what is this? Is the question. I see them everywhere. It's concrete, it's metal, it's got an opening to attach something, I guess. It must have something to do with city utilities. Now let me just get out of these trees here, this little park, so we can see a little bit more. You can see we've got sidewalks behind me. There's sidewalks running all through Moscow. People live in apartment buildings because it's a dense city, much like New York. You can see some of them behind me there. And what I've noticed, which is amazing, more so than America, is people are doing a lot of walking. Walking from home to work, to the grocery store. In this place, you have cars and people driving around, and some pretty interesting cars. But a lot of stuff is done on foot. Check that out. I don't know much about cars, but that looks kind of European and old and nice to me. There's a little parking lot. There's a apartment building there that looks pretty nice, in my opinion. You got one over here. It's a little bit older. So you've got, again, like America, like the West, you've got some nicer things and some less nicer things. Right here is a nicer sidewalk than what we saw earlier. And up ahead, we have a much, much nicer playground. The water everywhere makes the grass look better, but makes everything else look kind of dark and yucky. Here's something interesting over here. So what is this? It's quite heavy, made of concrete, it's got metal on it. I see them laying around everywhere, often not on their side. I don't know, I'll have to look it up. But I see this manhole cover next to it. And I'm pretty sure that when it's time for snow, they set that thing on top of there. And then when it's full of snow and the city workers need to find the manholes to open them up, this thing is going to be sticking up out the snow here. Anyway, that's just my guess. Let's try and go into where the stores and shops are. This right here is a public school. Pretty nice, I think. So what does this look like? Got people coming and going. Big sign, busy cars, buses. What do you think? They call it a Targovy Center, otherwise known as a mall. How about that? The red and white there, right there. We don't see that too often in America. That's a smokestack. something we see in old pictures about America. And you saw some buses go by. Pretty typical. That is a post office, and that is their version of Amazon called Ozone. So here we have a restaurant, typical restaurant. You got some outside patio. It's starting to rain again. And that restaurant in particular is Georgian food. And Georgian food in Russia, Georgia is a small country, and they make really tasty food that Russians like, similar to Mexican food in America. You know, Mexican food is not United States food necessarily. It's a smaller nearby country, but it's what everyone prefers to eat. And you may not know this, but if you think deeply, whenever you go out to a restaurant, every other time it's probably Mexican food. The same in Russia, it's Georgian food. Here is another one of these things. It's got a longer tip now. I'll have to look this up. There's the smokestack again. Pigeons everywhere, and they almost hit me in the face many, many times. Moscow has, well, you can hear the birds now, crazy birds. Moscow has a very extensive metro system, subway system. They're definitely reliant on it. It gets mass amounts of people everywhere, every day. I'll show you one of the entrances now. I wish you could smell this. Baked corn, boiled corn. Smells really good. Here's the metro, and lots of birds that don't like me, like to try and hit me in the face. There's another playground, kids, sidewalks everywhere, little trash cans everywhere that city workers are constantly coming and cleaning out. But as you can see, there's no real defined property boundaries. Everyone just kind of crosses the ground everywhere for all the different apartment buildings and whatnot, which again makes it very easy to live here without a car. Here's another one of our friends. Speaking of interesting vehicles, here's one that I think is pretty cool. Old style, European utility looking vehicle, I think. And that about brings me to the end. Oh, you can see, like I said, there's good things, bad things. No offense to that vehicle, but a little worn down. But anyway, you've probably already guessed my conclusion. Is Russia like America? I think that in the West, in America, we're raised to believe Russia bad, America good. And as you can see, just in this simple observation alone, that's not the case. Russia is not opposite America. Russia is alternate to America. So I think that we're much more alike than we are different. And I almost forgot. I asked the question, what is this big thing at the beginning? This is a giant slide for when it snows. You got in there? So the kids get on their bottoms, or they get on a little plastic slide and they slide down the big slide. So anyway, if you've liked this, you can click the link for another video where I go inside a Russian apartment. And also, of course, click like if you liked it, click subscribe if you want to be reminded of more videos, and the bell notification as well. And hopefully next time I'll see you inside a Russian apartment.